Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Or I guess I don't know, is it back or welcome to a new?
I'd say it's a bit of both, really.
It is. So I am. Well, I guess welcome back to the Clone Wars review. We'll break that down in a second. I am. Oh boy, I'm the Trench Trust now.
I'm the Bad Batch Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. If you don't remember, which was not too long ago, we just reviewed every single episode of the Clone Wars, so you can go back and check that out. But I guess this is not really Clone Wars retrospective because it's the first time we're seeing it, first time Taylor's seeing it. So we're going to review this episode, The Bad Batch. They do have synopsises for this episode, so that's good.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into it. And yeah, we're going to be reviewing every single episode. I think there's 12 they've said, so this is going till about what, May 8th?
Seems like 3 story arcs, I'm assuming, or something like that.
Yeah, May 8th. Why didn't they just release it a few days earlier and release it on May the 4th, you know?
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here today is The Bad Batch, Season 7, Episode 1. Rex, Cody, and Clone Force 99, an unorthodox elite squad. First of all, I always screw the synopsis, and two, we're recording this Friday morning for you fans, so that's why. Squad, also known as the Bad Batch, look to recover the Republic's strategy algorithm from Admiral Trench, but haunting truth awaits. Okay. Taylor, what do you feel about this episode? But also, just how do you feel Clone Wars is back? Also, you've been waiting for a lot longer than me. I just finished the series like 2 weeks ago, so not too bad. But for you, you've been waiting for a while. So are you excited that it's back and does it live up to your expectations?
Yeah. So I rewatched the Clone Wars so many times, and last night was like a long day because between work and school, and then I had to plow through 4.5 hours of Love Is Blind.
Oh yeah. Check out Geek First News this week.
Oh yeah, and then I was just waiting for that Clone Wars to finally come up at like 1 a.m. But when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is it. This is super exciting, and I couldn't believe it. Like everything felt like original. It felt like it felt like, oh my god, I was like 10 years ago all of a sudden. And I love that nostalgic feeling. So, just when it started off, it was great. And the animation just looked like it had a nice spike up, which was awesome. And, the score for this episode was just fantastic.
Yeah.
So...
What else is happening at Clone Wars really on our Facebook? We should promote that.
Yeah. So make sure you go into our Facebook because we got the Clone Wars fan base poll that is popping off right now. And I can't remember, now?
Isn't it Savage Press versus somebody?
Versus Embo, the bounty hunter.
Yeah. That one's tough. I haven't voted yet. I'd probably still go Savage, even though Embo has a pretty sick hat. But
he looks very cool. That's been the most divisive one, I'd say, yeah, because everyone's commenting, like, I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's maybe because they're not movie characters. Look at that.
It's possible.
Can't decide. But so what? Just go, and then where can they find us on social media? We gotta do this at the beginning. I forgot.
Yeah. Geek First Podcast. Fuck, it is early. Geek First Podcast on Facebook, Geek First Cast on Twitter, and Spreaker.
Yeah, all the description down below for the video and audio feed. Your Patreon, you get stuff early there. You get exclusive commentary tracks, so the whole shebang. It makes you subscribe, and please go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. A written review would be great if you like this episode or like anything else we do, because that's the best way. We're trying to get to 200. We're almost there. So if you can't help us help us in any other way, that's easy way to do it. Takes 2 minutes. Boom, done. So for myself, I just finished the series, so I've not had to do the same thing as everyone else. Feel this long, like hype and everything like that. And I do like the show a lot, but I definitely not love it as much as many other people. So it's not like, I wasn't like shaking down like that let me in whatever meme or gif it is, and like that's Taylor last night. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. And then as far as for the actual episode, I enjoyed it. It was really good. I knew Taylor was gonna love it because it's a clone-centric episode.
Yeah.
And then I read that the next 3 after this are also clone-centric. It's like a whole arc.
Juicy.
So it's like, oh man. So I don't dislike the clone stuff. Like you can go back and listen. Rookies is in my top 10 when we do a ranking when the show's over. It's one of my favorites, but it's just I want to still spend time with the other characters, but at the same point you can make the case that you got a bunch of movies for that. So that's fine. I thought the action was good. I thought there was lots of good intrigue. I thought there was a good mystery behind it, obviously reveal. And we're getting into full spoilers too here in a second. So I thought that was all good. I think it checked all the boxes pretty much. I don't think I had a problem, but I don't know when we get to ratings if it's a two-thumber, because I don't know if there was a big moment. I think there's probably a big moment for you near the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I didn't miss them. So, but anything else before we get into spoilers here?
Nope.
So where do you want to start? You want to start with Echo because that was obviously like the major reveal that happened at the end that he's still alive and whatnot. And like I said, for me, I can still barely tell the clones apart. So I'm like, okay, one of their friends is alive. But what do you think about this?
Well, just so do you remember who Echo was?
No.
You remember when Tarkin was in the episode and they had to break into that jail and they had to rescue that Jedi, the little dwarf Jedi guy with the pointy ears, even PL, I think his name was. And they were on like
even PL.
Yeah. They were on the platform and they were getting to their ship, and Echo, I think, what did he do? He was drawing fire from the big turbo laser tower, and
is that the official name of it?
No, turbo laser tower is what the Empire used, so this is probably a different name for the Separatists, but yeah, so he got exploded in that scenario and presumably died. So yeah, it was quite shocking for me to find out that he's back. But I don't think in the way that we think he is.
Really, what's your theory? Because because obviously, if this is a 3-arc episode, it's not going to be as cut as dry as he's just there. But I don't know. What is your theory going on?
I think he'll be, maybe in like Vader eyes, to not like evil, but he's going to be pretty banged up.
Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Hello, clones. Look what I did. He's going to be pretty banged up, but clearly he's still like alive enough, and he's giving out all these orders. The thing is, they were making it sound like he was giving the orders to Trench and his people, right? So is that a thing where he's being held against his will, sort of deal?
Well, I'm not sure if it's like mind control or what they're doing exactly. Because, yeah, I mean, it sounds like this project, I'm assuming, is kind of like what Trench's own little, like, pet project that he's doing. I love Admiral Trench.
When do we see him first? Like season 2, season 3? And I've always been like, I don't know how I feel with the Spire guy. And, of course, this episode opens up, and it's just like, Admiral Trench. I'm like, no.
He's like one of the greatest geniuses of the Clone Wars.
I know, apparently he is. He's this war master. So, obviously, you were happy with the reveal, or do you feel like...
I'm happy with it, yeah. Like, I think it built up to it pretty well. I like seeing... At first, I thought when Rex was talking to Cody and he was like distressed in the not the change rooms, the
hey,
the
Echo, yeah.
The bunk bed area. I thought he was gonna say I yanked my inhibitor chip out or something like that, but no, he didn't do that. He just said, "Yeah, Cody."
I did think that this episode was gonna lead to that, and even though because they do that before Order 66, right? So do you think there's a chance that in these 4 we get that?
I hope we do.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Because I haven't got that in Rebels. In Rebels, he just tells the story. They don't do a flashback, do they?
No, they just tell it. Yeah.
Okay, so other than maybe that, is there any other significance to why Echo might be alive? Because I don't have it. I'm just kind of like, I'm along for the ride because he's alive. I think it's something. There's a lot of like cliffhangers you could leave. I think that's a good thing. Like, okay, they're looking for their their fallen comrade. So do you think it's gonna serve these clones? Like, what is gonna be the purpose of Echo being alive, or is it just like, oh, it's a twist and he's alive and evil robot?
I mean, I don't know if there's 3 more episodes to this. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, it's a twist, and I'm thinking next episode we'll probably see him.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I think, with them, because this episode, it didn't feel rushed, but it was very quick in what they did, but not in a rushed way, and I like that with what they covered. So
I was surprised it was not a tad bit longer. I guess it was like 23 minutes instead of 2. I was kind of hoping that because they're on Disney Plus, that was going to be maybe like a 25 or even half an hour. So it's fine it's not. So next week, you think Echo's going to come in, eh?
Yeah, I think so. I think with the Bad Batch, they're going to go in and they're going to figure out where he is because they got all the information they needed.
Well, let's Sheila. Let me read this. Oh, wow, the synopsis. We should have known a distant echo. I'm pretty sure they released that tell before, but what is this? Believing that the MIA soldier Echo may still be alive, Rex's mission becomes doubly important. Alongside Bad Batch and Anakin Skywalker, the clone captain launches a dangerous covert mission. I think we may see him, but it might be at the very end. I don't think he's going to be in that much. But if I had a gun to my head, I would say we wouldn't see him next episode.
No, okay.
I still think there's going to be a build-up to him. So, what do you think about what? Because I want to talk about the Bad Batch. Obviously, I know you got some favorites in there. What did you think about Anakin this episode? Because when they were like talking or whatnot, and they were making this plan, Anakin's like side-eyeing them all the time. He's like looking. Obviously, it's closer.
Looking at who? The Bad Batch?
Yeah, I think
they didn't encounter each other.
No, But the whole crew and whatnot at one point, didn't they?
What do you mean the whole
like
crew?
the clones. Like I felt Anakin was kind of side eye.
Well, the only I'm trying to remember because the only scene we got was he was standing at like the holo table with Windu, and then Rex and Cody approached, and you think he was just like kind of eyeing them up?
He looked like he was thought they were up to no good. That's what I thought.
Well, I think he suspected like the disease on Rex's mind, and he called him out for it too, right? But Rex just lied to him, which I'm surprised clones can do that all of a sudden.
Apparently, yeah. Plus, we're getting closer to Revenge of the Sith, so Anakin's gonna be more pissy with every episode. So.
Yeah,
he had the longer hair.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I think it'll be cool though. Side note: when Rex leaves, it's another pillar dropping out of Anakin's life to turn him to the dark side. I'd say.
Oh God, get off with this. Rex is. There's no way Rex is a pillar.
Oh yeah, it is one of his best friends.
I've never heard him mention him any time in any of these movies.
Well, he's probably mad that Rex just disappeared or faked his death.
One of the pillars. So what did you think about the actual Bad Batch? So in this episode, they're fighting Trench, and the problem is, so whatever the troops or the, I guess, Roger, the robots, all these people that they're fighting have an algorithm to kind of know what the clones are going to do. So they're kind of like, oh, we don't know what to win, or like we don't know what to do here. We're kind of cornered. So they call them this Bad Batch. Have you ever heard of this before? The 99 unit? Really? When has this been talked about?
So they were originally in they were unfinished episodes.
Oh, okay.
I believe, and I'm gonna like check into it just to make sure. But yeah, Hunter was one of the unrendered characters in it.
Okay. So other than that, they haven't been around. It was just like a concept that they were tinkering with, but here we actually get to see it in full force.
Yeah.
I imagine you love this, especially I wrote down who I think your favorite guy is. So when you tell me out of the bunch who your favorite guy, because you had like Crosshairs, you had the like Rambo-looking version. I can't remember his name. You had the one-eyed guy.
You had Wrecker.
You had the scientist guy. So who's your favorite? And tell me their physical attribute because I won't remember their name.
So
too early.
Eagle Eye. He had, I'm assuming, just sharp eyes. They didn't actually specify. I think they just kind of hinted that he was just a sniper and he could like see things with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter obviously had heightened senses, so he could like smell and like hear things, and like he was so sensitive he could pick up, I think, like digital frequencies.
Was it the one-eyed guy? Or
no, he was the leader with the bandana.
Oh, the Rambo-looking guy, like Snake.
Oh, that's the one you're considering. The
well, he has like he has beard, mutton chops, and he has like
there's an unrendered episode.
He looks like Rambo right there, even so. Like his hair, he's looking like Sylvester Stallone. He has the bandana. He looks exactly like a Rambo or a Snake. So, okay. Who was your favorite out of the group, though?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like the scientist guy. I thought he was kind of funny, but well, I'd probably go with the geek guy. I can't remember his name. They call him like Specs or something like that.
See, I was wrong. I thought for sure you'd be liking the one-eyed guy because
Wrecker.
He was all over with his humor, and he's always coming out. And like I think he was fine for the most part. But I thought, oh, that's Taylor Field right there because he's just like everyone else for the most part is like they have some like cliches, but they're still like taking everything seriously. Where he's just like, oh yeah, here I am, like. Okay. I
liked him, but I think the one thing that like kind of took down for me was like he kept like picking fights with the regs.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of like the regs that kind of threw me off. Like I like it, I love the dynamic, but I'm thinking like, God damn, they're all clones.
He's supposed to be hot-headed and tough guy, so that would make sense. I liked Crosshairs because I liked him because it was just so over the top. Like he's a shooter, but then like he literally has like. What, a crosshair tattoo on his eye?
On his eye, yeah, and he's got a toothpick in his mouth.
Yeah, like so. I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about the Bad Batch shit. I don't know if they're still cool, or I don't know if they're just a bunch of losers and like those designs are like too on the nose. But I like them for the most part. It's weird that. Like, I guess you get introduced new concepts in the show. It's weird that, 7 years into the show, and it's like, this is the first time we're hearing about the Bad Batch, but...
Well, it's an experimental unit, right? Like, Rex didn't even know about it, really, so...
Yeah, so they're clones that are mutated and didn't fully, like, come out, right? So when they...
Well, they're like, remember, like... Number 99.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
So
I thought for a second the door was gonna open and he was gonna walk out, and I was like, "What else this guy gonna be? He could barely move in the episodes we saw."
he died. But this is like
well, I thought it was gonna be like his cousin or
his
something.
cousin. This so Clone 99. He obviously had undesirable traits.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have very desirable traits that are mutations of the
Yeah,
back,
I guess so. So where have they been this whole time?
Probably growing. So
And growing, and they know they're defecting. Like, oh, let's see. Yeah, well, the only because they, other than the Rambo-looking guy, they all kind of looked different. They all had like similar voices though, so I liked that. It was a fun concept. I liked the dynamic of, like you said, the regs. They would call the clones like regulars, so that was their short term. And the whole, I'd say, up until like the last, when they gotta get out in like the last 5 minutes, they all seem like they're butting heads because they both have different ways of doing things. Clones seem like they're very, you know, we like goal oriented or planning, where they even say clones like, oh, we're just gonna go full straight into the battalion just like you guys would do it. It could be because the Bad Batch, it's just, they're not crazy, but they're just going for it. They're like the clones already feel like they don't care if they die. These guys don't really feel like they really don't care if they die, so they're very unorthodox. So I liked seeing that dynamic. I think it made the scene, like the action scenes, better. Plus, it's not like a heavy theme this episode, but this kind of theme of like, can they trust one another, which is good, and you got your characters there. So overall, I like the Bad Batch, and I think obviously they're going to be in the next episode. So I'm fine with them being there. I don't think I like the their chances of surviving this arc. So what do you think about that?
yeah, it's not looking like too good, which will suck because they're making us fall in love with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You can get a Black series of it.
Yeah, I will get some Black Series.
Did they ever make
these
a Black
guys.
series of Clone 99 or whatever?
I don't think so.
No. You should start demanding one.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Just those images every day. For example, or for shout back, go listen to that episode. But that's an episode where it's like a defective clone, but he's kind of an old and he's disfigured and he has some physical abilities that are lacking. And I didn't know that part. I missed something in the episode. And it was just, I thought he was an old clone. And I was like, this doesn't make much sense. And why are they keeping him there? But then Taylor informed me that no,
Why are they keeping him?
he's mutated.
Against as well.
Yeah, we'll just let the poor man. He can barely walk. Let him retire. He's been through some wars. But I was like, why is he older than the rest of them? I don't know. So anything to say left on the Bad Batch, guys?
Yeah, not really. Just I like each one's kind of personality and what they're doing, and they're all kind of like. I like their hot-headedness and how they just kind of rush into things. I enjoyed seeing them take out like that whole platoon of droids, and I love seeing like.
Yeah, all the action was good in this episode. So I don't think there was anything that I'd say was the best of the series, but it was all good action stuff. So yeah,
I enjoyed it when what was it, Crosshairs? He's like, oh. He's gonna need help to lift Cody from the gunship. He's like, no, he's gonna lift the gunship off of Cody.
Yeah.
He just throws the thing, and then he turns around. And he's like, boom, and explodes behind him.
They're very like Dirty Dozen or like this generation's, Suicide Squad. They're like a bunch of like ragtag people like that. Like that line is very 80s action, like a bunch of, or like the Expendables. Like that's what they are. They're a bunch of random guys that all have skills. Or they're like Captain America's Sucky Squad or One Woman's Sucky Squad. I prefer the Bad Batch over those two. So yeah, that was a good line. The other line when it was like the scientist guy with the glasses, everything like that, they're talking about these creatures they ran into, and the line I put is, they're like, well, they weren't trying to eat us actually, they were trying to mate with us, and then everyone just kind of discards that and walks away. So there's a good dynamic. I'm not gonna go this route so far, but I like these guys better than the clones actually, just because I can distinguish them. Other than this guy has bleached blonde hair and this guy has a weird face, Mike Tyson tattoo. So, but yeah, all that stuff was good. So anything else you want to shout out? Because that's almost my nose. It was a pretty basic episode. This was like. It's going to be weird reviewing this weekly because this would definitely be a setup episode because if you watch what we did is like usually with the lots of arcs 3 to 4 there's always like a setup and there's one or two in the middle that are really like your action heavy or like story based, and then the last episode's the finale. This is weird watching it in real time because this was a setup episode. It was good, and I think it was good just because it was, I haven't watched Clone Wars in a couple weeks, so it was good to see it, but it was a lot happened, but a very little. Like a lot happened with like we got the reveal of Echo and we met not Order 99. That's something.
Order 99.
What are they? Clone 99 or what's their official name?
Clone Force 99.
I'm gonna call them the Bad Batch because Clone Force 99.
Order 99.
Yeah, that's something else. So I think we got lots of stuff in here, but then the actual like action, like I said, there's a lot of just them fighting droids and whatnot. We got to look at those, those cool black droids and whatnot. Trench is Trench gonna die in these 4?
Which black droids?
Wasn't there when they were talking to Trench, there was like a droid that was like he's a bit more narrow, or was it just the shadowing the droid that it was like nighttime he's supposed to look back?
Shadowing, because I think the only ones he talked to was like his assassin droids, I think, and those like ones that have like their lips like light up with lights as they talk.
I think that's the one.
Oh, okay.
He was black, wasn't he?
I don't know. I think he was like a dark green or something. I don't know. I have to relook.
He was a dirt bastard. Is Trench going to meet his end in these 4?
I think so. Like, because there was like spoilers if you haven't seen the trailers. I'm sure you have. There was like a brief shot of like Trench standing there and Anakin whipping his lightsaber out on him. So I think he's going to like go dark side mode.
Imagine if Trench just beats Anakin in front of
he's got the hands.
Space Force 99
full Grievous on him.
The Bad Batch in Clone Wars, he just dispatches him, and everyone's just like, "Oh man, Master Skywalker's not that great." So
he will either see him like just straight up cut Trench down in a dark side moment, or he'll like ignite the lightsaber from behind, killing him, and Obi-Wan will be like, "Anakin."
And the clones all in stereo. The clones of Anakin. Remove these chips from her head. I think he needs to, because obviously he's not mentioned in any of like kind of around Revenge of the Sith and whatnot, and I feel like it'd be fitting. I don't think he's gonna get arrested or anything like that. So
No.
I could see another end coming from him. Plus, if it's getting closer to Revenge of the Sith, he's becoming a monster right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mace Windu, I enjoyed seeing him pop off back in this episode, and I found him to be kind of I don't know. He seems like hot-headed himself. He's kind of like, he's warmongering. I feel like, war. Let's, how are we gonna do this? And I don't know. It just shows. Like, I was rewatching the end of season 6, and I just really see now more than ever how the Jedi are just so corrupt, just so descending from what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So seeing Windu kind of emphasize that a bit in this episode was sad, but
he wants to win the war. They're not the only ones corrupt. The Empire, or like the whole galaxy's corrupt. You got Palpatine running around.
Yeah,
stuff
well,
like that.
Palpatine's the only one who isn't corrupt because he's controlling everything.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's corrupting everyone else. But I hope we see Mace again. In the Clone Wars series, he's always in it a little less than I'd like, but I'd hope we'd get him in one more episode or something like that, another highlight. But because if there's 4 of these, I think it'll be mostly clones of Anakin. And then that leaves us with 8. So I'm not sure if it's going to be another 4 and 4, or it's going to be some solo episodes. So I don't know. So anything else left to say on this episode of The Bad Batch?
Yeah, I guess just I'm surprised that they tried to do Cody dirty, because I mean, I don't know what they're trying to get at to make you think he's gonna die when we know he's alive. So
yeah,
I don't know what their plan was for that. I mean, if anyone, it should have been the pilots.
Yeah,
I feel bad that they died.
Just the the little kids being like, "No, Commander Cody."
Yeah, they all think he's gonna die when he's not going to.
That was probably you still last night. You're like, I know he's alive, but what if? Because look, Echo died and he's back. So what if Cody died and somehow came back?
He came back all Vaderized. Order 99, bring Cody back.
Yeah, release the Cody cut. Anything else on this, sir?
No.
You want to give me your final thoughts and a rating?
With the excitement and the hype, I'm giving this 2 thumbs down, though.
So
I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. This was
you say
great.
With the excitement and hype, so you think if you watch this later on when all the episodes are out, it could be lower?
I think I could see myself having bumped it to like a 1.5 thumb, but just
bump it down.
Yeah, bump it down.
I thought you were saying you were at like a half thumb, and because of excitement, you're bumping it up to a thumb and a half. I'm like, man, excitement does a lot. You gave it over 50% of what you actually would give it regularly.
No, I'm 2 thumbs up. But if the other episodes were out and I saw them and got excited more about those episodes, I could probably make this one like a 1.5 thumb up. So
yeah, I'll go 1.5, because like I said, I always say for me, I need like a big story thing or a big moment, and that's why some people will be, Echo's alive, but for me, that's nothing too huge. I like the clones enough, but I think it was a really solid episode. I liked all the dynamics. I liked kind of some of the twists and turns. Trench is back. You know how I feel about Trench, but good action. I did actually end up liking the Bad Batch because when they were introduced, I think if the Bad Batch storyline was done season 1 to 3, they would have been even more cheesy and even more like just kind of annoying. Where I think they were annoying, but in the sense of you wanted, like they're writing them annoying that they wanted them to be annoying. So you're with your characters, you're feeling they're going against the grain and stuff like that. So it was a good kind of juxtaposition. Not I don't want to be watching this, but when with the build up to him, like all these mutated guys, especially when I thought it was gonna be Clone 99, a bunch of them, I was like,
that would have been great.
I was like, I don't need this kiddie episode. And that's why I thought it might be a kiddie episode. Like, it's first episode back. We want to hook the adults, but also the kids. So throw in some fun family. 99. I was like, please don't do this. And then when they walked down, I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. And it actually all worked out. So at least with the next few episodes, I'm excited to see what the Bad Batch is going to do. I'm excited to see all of them get killed off one by one because it's going to happen. But I think I was very worried when they got off. They're just called the Bad Batch. I was like, this could be very cheesy. And some stuff in Clone Wars is, but luckily this was not. So I'll give it a thumb and a half. Those are my final thoughts. So again, the synopsis for next week: a distant Echo, believing the MIA soldier Echo may still be alive. Rex's mission becomes doubly important. Alongside Bad Batch, Anakin Skywalker, the clone captain launches a dangerous covert rescue. So you think he's going to tell Anakin, or you think Anakin's going to find out?
I think he'll tell Anakin. This is now, before it was just a hunch and he was being told to just brush it over. But in this case scenario, he's got evidence to confirm it.
But didn't just those clones hear it and no one else?
Well, yeah, Specs and Rex heard it, but I feel like, Specs has like information that he got on his data pad, I'm assuming. So they both heard like the signal, and I feel like that's just cause because they went there to get information and they came back with, intel. So I'm thinking next episode 2 we'll probably see Trench face Anakin.
Next episode.
Yeah,
I don't
if
think
they're doing a covert episode in there. So
maybe, but there's 4, right? And I feel like Trench is gonna be the bad guy for most of them. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say Anakin finds out about it, that they don't tell him yet. They want to like confirm the clones are gonna be like, they want to see that's Echo or get more information because maybe they think it's just someone messing with them. So I think this mission will be going on the side, and Anakin will maybe get some wind of it, maybe feel one of the pillars of his life is lying to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. This will be back next week for episode 2 of Clone Wars, the final season, season 7. I don't know what to call it, but that's they're calling it the final 7, the final 7, the final 7, the final season. So we thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. So when you hear from us next, it will not be boring, and we'll see you next week. May the Force be with you
always.